And welcome back. And we are now at part 4 of this week's new comics, bitches! Uh, just as a side note, wanted to just kind of say kind of a little video goodbye to MCA, to Adam Yauch. I didn't really dig the B-Boys when they first started with like License to Ill, but then of course, Paul's Boutique and Check Your Head really turned me the fuck around. And wow, just incredible talent. And he's, fuck cancer, man. Fuck it right in the ass, with a spike. Because, man, cancer's, fuck you. Seriously. Not you, the people that are watching this, but just cancer. If you're watching this, a huge fuck you. Okay? So, anyway. Excuse me. Marvel. Avengers vs. X-Men #3. Now we have Brubaker writing this one. So basically what we got here is that the, as we open up Spidey and Wolverine, the kind of coming back out of it, or at least Wolverine is. He's been regrowing his skin for the last hour. And he comes back into it, and basically Spidey lets him know that, well, Cyclops and the X-Men have actually surrendered. And Wolverine said, no, that doesn't sound right to me. And so, of course, he comes charging out, and Cap, he's got his people together, and, there's an interesting argument going on between Cap and Iron Man, that Cap is almost kind of sounding like what Iron Man was sounding like during Civil War. So I thought that was a really interesting comparison to make. But of course they've been bamboozled. It's actually magic has actually knocked out Doctor Strange and made it look like they were retreating, or that they were giving themselves up, but they all teleport away. And so basically the search is on for Hope. Who is going to find them first? Because Hope has essentially escaped. And she builds this device, thanks to, living with Cable all that time. And she builds this device that basically masks her presence from Cerebra and kind of puts it in different locations around the world. So she could be anywhere. And so, Cap coordinates with Rachel Gray back at the Jean Grey Institute, and Wolverine, I should say. Both of them coordinating with Rachel Gray back at the Institute, and basically saying, where is she? Rachel says we can't find her, but Rachel's also secretly working for Cyclops, because, it's her dad, so, what can you do? But, so basically we've got, as they're flying in the Quinjet, that basically Cap and Wolverine get into it, because Cap does not want Hope harmed. And Wolverine understands that the only way to truly stop Phoenix is to kill Hope. And Cap's not he's not for that. So we have Cap, shield versus adamantium, adamantium vibranium shield versus adamantium claws. Cap cheats a little bit, but it's important that he does, because let's face it. I mean, Wolverine, as good as as good as Cap is, Wolverine does have the claws. He has like the ninja training, and he can, if he's hurt, he can put himself together pretty quick. So ultimately, he kind of had to cheat, but that's the way it had to go. And so again, it seems like it's just getting kind of incrementally better. And if it keeps along this line, it may actually be kind of an interesting story when it all comes together. Because the first two issues, the first one sucked, the second one wasn't good, and this one's actually decent. It was about a 3 out of 5. Kind of halfway between 2.5 to 3 out of 5. Just Brubaker, he did some interesting things here. I like some of the stuff that he pulled out here. So, but Brubaker's he's a pretty smart writer. So. Anyway, moving along. So, Ultimate Spider-Man #10. Now we basically got Miles and Aaron. So, nephew, uncle, criminal, hero, would-be hero, squaring off against one another. And they finally decide to meet. And basically, Aaron decides that it's time to school Miles in a little bit of the way that basically he thinks that things should be done. And of course he believes that, if he has all the strength, why not use it? And ultimately, being a criminal, being who he is, Aaron believes that if he has all this strength and can use it, why not use it to better his own situation? Don't be a dumbass and be, a hero. Be one of, be like me, be a criminal. We can take this town apart. And, Miles says, no way to that. There's no way that that's going to happen. But of course, then Aaron whips out a counteroffer, which is basically, okay, if you don't do this with me, I'm going to tell your parents who you are. And, your dad, being the anti-mutant bigot that he is, he's going to throw the hammer down on you, kid, whether you're his son or not. And Aaron, of course, is speaking from something of experience that, this is the guy who called the cops on him. So why would it make any difference, his own brother, so why would it make any difference that it's his own son? And especially a mutant son at that. Of course, he's not really a mutant, but he doesn't know that. That it was just a spider bite. And of course, and what we find out here is it is actually the same spider, apparently, that bit Peter Parker has also bitten Miles Morales. So basically, what he does here, he makes this offer and he says, look into the Scorpion. These are the kind of people that you're going to have to be up against as a hero. With my help, we can take down the Scorpion because he's a really bad man. Of course, Aaron, this is all just a big fat setup. From Aaron to Miles, basically, to do this kind of dirty work together. So where this is going, very, very interested to find out. Again, David Marquez as artist, he blasts it out of the park. He just kills on this issue. And Bendis, he's keeping a really solid pace going with Ultimate Spidey, and it looks great, it reads great, it's a great book. So very solid 4.5 out of 5 for Ultimate Spider-Man number 10. Defenders number 6. So basically we have the immortal weapons, they're being killed. And are the Defenders responsible? Or at the very least, is Danny Rand responsible? He said, trying to have this nice dinner with Misty Knight, and, of course, before any of that can be enjoyed, we've got, Fat Cobra busting in, and he's dying, essentially. And, who's actually responsible for, his would-be murder. And so we have Orson Randall and the Confederates of the Curious are back, at least in not directly, but in the tale. We have the Green Mist, and the Green Mist versus Silver Surfer. It's just, again, Matt Fraction's weirdness. You have the little captions at the bottom of the page, and one of them actually refers to its own issue, which I thought was really funny. So, but again, it's Fraction working with the tools that he wants to use with people like Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer and, Iron Fist. Because these are the people that he's written before, kind of, or the people that are just weird enough to really fit his kind of comic book view. So this is what Matt Fraction should be doing, like, forever. This is the type of title he should be on. Something that's weird, something that's unusual, something that allows him to bring out all these strange characters with these really, kind of bizarre ideas, of these, these engines, basically being kind of, kind of the dooming of the world, if you will, if they're not properly protected, or if they're even destroyed, or if they're even kept. Who knows? That's the secret. That's the thing that's really hooking me into this book. is that what do these things do? What are they responsible for? How can they be controlled, and can they be controlled? So I mean, it's a great MacGuffin. It works really well. So I wasn't particularly crazy about the art by Victor Abanez here, but you know, we still have really good rollicking adventure here. So a very solid 4 out of 5 for Defenders number 6. Amazing Spider-Man number 685. Ends of the Earth. You know, basically we've got Spidey, Black Widow, Silver Sable. They're doing hit and runs on Ock's bases. Basically, he hits one in North Korea, and of course they confront the Rhino, and they got to kind of put him down. And ultimately they do, and they think Shield is actually coming to help them mop up. But guess what? No, because basically Ock said, you know, this is, you know, he is, you know, Spider-Man is global enemy number 1 because he's trying to stop all the wonderful things I'm trying to do for you. So, you know, that was, you know, again, you know, great little line about opposite day from Spidey. And public opinion, we show, and you know, Slott shows that public opinion is actually on Doc Ock's side. You know, that, you know, if he can stop global warming, then, you know, this can be a fantastic world to live in. And, you know, the children, you know, these people's children and their children's children, and beyond that, they'll have a chance to live and breathe and, you know, and be healthy on this planet. But that doesn't matter to Ock. And of course, that's a big, you know, that's obviously, you know, it's a very telling moment of exactly what he's thinking about. He's not thinking about what this means for him in the sense that people respect him and they believe that he's doing the right thing. No, he just knows, you know, this is just all part of his secret evil plan, and it isn't so secret, but it is evil, and we do find that out by the end of this issue. Now, basically, what we have here is that dissent is growing amongst the Sinister Six. You know, Chameleon and Mysterio kind of thinking of their ways out of this. So basically what Ock does, he kind of starts outsourcing, puts some new players on the board. One of them they ask is Titanium Man. But Titanium Man is actually loyal to, Black Widow. And, you know, so basically Spidey says, hey, two can play this game. You know, of course, all the, you know, the Avengers, the X-Men, everybody, you know, the Fantastic Four, they're all off doing their own things. So I've got to, you know, I've got to basically muster up my own force here. So we get characters like Sabra and Kangaroo and Union fucking Jack. Yes! Love Union Jack. Love him. And, you know, of course, in Union Jack and Sabra were in Union Jack's little, you know, Christus Gage penned Mike Perkins art, Union Jack London Falling 4-issue story, which is like awesome. So if you haven't read that, definitely check it out. And maybe you'll see why I think Union Jack's so cool. Also, there's the John Cassaday, Ben Rabb little 3-issue miniseries, which is in trade. You should pick that up too. But, you know, we've got this really nice kind of potential tender moment between Sable and Spidey, which was very interesting to see because, you know, as he even says himself, you know, I thought you always thought I was kind of a goof, and she really respects the man that's underneath the mask. But ultimately, Spidey feels that he is doing all this all for her, the mysterious her, which is not so mysterious because, of course, it immediately cuts back to Mary Jane, which means that things are kind of coming back towards MJ again for Spidey. So, but that's only if they can get through the end of this book, because the stakes on this one just went way, way high. Again, this is not the, you know, they should have done like this last year in Spider Island this year, because Spider Island was perfect. It's much more of a 50th anniversary type of event. This doesn't have that feel to it, but this is still a really, really good issue. Ramos killing it on the art, Slott hitting his notes very, very well. Very solid 4.5 out of 5 for Amazing Spider-Man 685. So we'll be right back and we might talk about picks of the week or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see.